get into that. I'll tell you what God spoke to me at a funeral yesterday. Found in most of the stupid times. But his wife passed away. If you were from Clinton, her name was Lavina. And she was 55. And I knew she was, but I did not know the impact of her life in the Clinton School District. And I began to ask myself a question. Do you love like that? Because all I kept hearing about her is how she loved so much and she would do so much and to her kids and the people in her classroom. I don't know that she taught a class, but social work, and she just loved kids. She was in the school district and doing stuff, and there were kids throughout the years were just impacted by her, and family was people genuinely. And I'm asking myself a question. They noticed the heaven that was in me. Will they know by not to get extra credit, but just the fact that I've been dynamically changed by the power of the gospel? And that power begins to work itself out into my life, into my soul, into my emotions, not just out into the world, but me. I have fundamentally been changed by the Spirit of God that lives in me. And so there are thought processes that have been changed by that. And there are more thought processes that are going to be changed by that. But the question that I think God was asking me is, do you love like that? And I'm like, I don't know. Do I love like that? If God is asking me a question, he's not really looking for an answer. Right? Like, you know what, God, maybe I could stop doing so many things. You hear what I'm saying? Maybe I can stop doing so many things as a pastor. And maybe you're calling me, maybe it's not about schedules. Maybe it's not about preachings, but demonstrates the love of Jesus to those who are around. Starting with loving myself as he loves me. If I don't love myself as he loves me, I'll have a hard time loving others as he loves them. Long way around the track. But when we talk about this Colossian heresy that theologians talk about in here, we find that there was a move, a shift into one of the heresies. It's about what you do. It's about adding to. And Paul says some pretty serious things here, I think. He said, you were once alienated and hostile in your minds. That's this physical body is dealing with the Gnosticism thing. But he wants you to know that Jesus lived a physical life. That he was hungry. We know that. He walked through the grain fields on the Sabbath and plucked stuff up and ate it. Now, the Bible doesn't expressly say this, but I got to believe that he had to go to the restroom. Right? He placed himself, he let go of his position and lived a life like you and I. And he lived it perfectly so that he could go to the cross for the purpose of reconciling us back to the Father again. And it's all through his grace. He did this not because he had to. Facts, how we look at the world, at God, and even in his written word, our perception is everything. And so if I perceive that God is really this angry, then I'm going to live under religion. I'm going to do everything I can to make him happy. But if I understand that while I was still a sinner, that he loved me and sent his son, which means that I didn't have to clean myself up. I am changed forever. Now my spirit and my soul. But he changes you. And we are tempted at times to put rules and regulations around that change. To think we have to keep it. The way you keep the change is by always acknowledging that he's the only one who could do it. He's the only one who can keep it. Or because my love for him will empower me. So I'm not focused on the 10. I'm focused on the 2 because the 2 fulfill the 10. He's fulfilled it. Everything. And so as they're drifting, he's sending these signs and saying, hey, listen, he's presenting you. He is the one that presents you as holy, faultless, and blameless before him. And not shifted away from hope of the gospel. The gospel that you once heard and once received. And remain grounded in that. It'll keep you out of heresy. It'll keep the people that are speaking wrong things at bay because you're listening to the true voice and the word of God that are leading you straight. This is the goodness of the gospel. This is the foundation of our faith. He has done it all for you. And you can't make him any happier. You just say yes.